Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk on the Basement Show with Mr. Nast. My name is Ron Tessing, and my co-host is, as always, Mr.
Dave
Dave
Clayton.
Clayton. How you doing, Dave?
I'm good. I'm good. Ready to kick things off.
All right, I like it. We just jump right into it. Although we don't really have anybody in the chat yet that I see. So anyway, just to give everybody an idea of what we're going to be talking about tonight. We are going to be discussing movies that were made by members of the cast of Saturday Night Live. There is an immense amount of movies that have come out starring at least one or more of the cast members there in the Saturday Night Live crew. So we've got plenty of material to talk about. I'm sure that there's plenty of movies that people in the chat are going to want to talk about. And I'm sure, Dave, you have quite a few yourself, but I'm just going to kind of roll through a list of a few that I made just to get it started, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Okay, and this list here is it of cast members specifically, or is it of movies, or is it both? Because I actually compiled the list of movies.
Oh, okay. No, actually, I did it by cast member, but
okay.
I'm sure we'll probably hit, if there's any that we miss, you'd make sure you blend those in.
Definitely.
So we, I can't say that our memories are going to be all inclusive, but out of anybody I know, between you and I think it'd be pretty close.
Yeah.
So let's start off. I kind of kicked it off with the original cast. So I was sitting and thinking about the original cast that started back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
It was the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one that came to mind was I'm Chevy Chase and you're not. So Chevy Chase, one of the founding members of SNL. I thought that would be a great place to start. So Chevy Chase movies.
Chase movies. Okay.
I mean, his first movie, I believe, if you don't count Kentucky Fried Movie, which was kind of an ensemble kind of piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he was in that, if I'm not mistaken. But the first mainstream film that I recall that he was in would have been Foul Play.
Okay.
Which would have been a comedy with Goldie Hawn, where he was, part of a little bit of intrigue, and he was I believe, a police officer, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going way back here, so
yeah, you're in the early days.
Yeah,
so
this is going way back.
Yeah, it's gonna get to the point where we get into like the mid to late 80s and the 90s, where I'm gonna be able to start really chiming in. You when it comes to this, but yeah, I've seen a couple of these.
She's a librarian who gets tied up in an assassination plot against the Pope, and Chevy is a detective. So that's the basic idea of the movie. And that was in 1975.
1975.
And actually was the reason that Chevy chose to leave the show. He was what essentially was billed as the first one that actually broke away from the cast. So he was getting offers, leading man offers to make comedies. So actually Foul Play is the movie that kind of lured him away from the show.
Oh, yeah, and he would probably make a bank, too, with the movies as opposed to the show, so why not transition over,
Yeah, and I mean, these guys were all part of, Second City comedy troupe out of Chicago. Mm-hmm. A number of the cast members originated there, including Aykroyd and Belushi and Chevy. I mean, they had all known each other previously, so they all were in that Second City group. So that's pretty much where they got their start. Hey guys, welcome in. We got Jack in the house.
Yeah, got some activity here.
Got Alan. How you doing, Alan? You doing? Okay. So, with that being said, um, that was really the first one right off the top of my head that I thought of with Chevy. But then, as he progressed, he made a couple that were really pretty pretty good movies. I mean, I thought Fletch, the original Fletch, was a great movie.
Yeah, no, I saw that one. That's great. That's great.
Yeah. Now after the first one, he kind of jumped the shark, but
It tends to happen, Ron.
yeah, I know, but the first one was just so good.
Mhm.
I mean, it was just a thoroughly enjoyable movie. And then after that, you know, you had a couple throwaways here and there. I mean, one in particular, which was kind of insane, which also starred Dan Aykroyd and John Candy. Was
Wait a minute. What, did it come out in the 90s or
It
like the
did.
late 80s? Yeah, it was Nothing But Trouble or something.
Nothing But Trouble. That is correct.
Yeah, that was a strange movie.
Very strange movie with Dan Aykroyd being almost unrecognizable. John Candy playing two parts, one male and one female.
Yeah, it was just bizarre. That's the word I'm looking for. Very bizarre.
And they performed the Humpty dance. And the Digital Underground was in there doing the Humpty, you know. So you got all kinds of stuff going on in that movie. Yeah. Demi Moore was actually in that as well.
Yes,
with
Chevy, one of the early roles. That was before she did what was the movie? Was it Striptease?
Yeah, Striptease would have been later, and like G.I. Jane, stuff like that. Now, ones that she did, actually, I think it would have been before Nothing But Trouble. Demi Moore was in One Crazy Summer.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in the early 80s. So, which was one of my, I love that movie. So that one always.
Yeah, without getting off the subject, but Demi Moore, I know she was, it escapes my mind, but she was in a music video, and I can't remember whose music video it was.
Demi Moore?
Yeah, Demi Moore. When she wasn't like famous or anything at that point. She just happened to be there. I'm telling you.
You're not thinking of Courtney Cox in the Springsteen video.
Oh, was it that? Maybe it was.
Yeah, Courtney Cox was in Dancing in the Dark.
Okay.
With real short black hair.
Yeah.
And he pulled her out of the crowd. Yeah, that was Courtney Cox.
All right.
Which a lot of people confused them actually back in the early days.
Oh, when they were both, around that age, yeah.
Yeah, but then she did. Demi Moore did a bunch of those Brat Pack kind of movies with Andrew McCarthy and Rob Lowe and those guys back in the day. Mm-hmm. James Spader was actually a part of that whole era as well.
Yeah.
Who went on to two of the most amazing roles, which were. See, this is what happens. It's like stream of consciousness, because now I say James Spader and I'm like, Blacklist is the greatest TV show ever.
It's amazing.
And the voice of Ultron in the Marvel movie.
Yes.
I mean, those two things alone are just like,
I particularly liked him in Wolf with Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yep. He's such a sleaze in that movie. It's just so good.
Yeah. Hey, Jackie, welcome in. Guys in. Mama D in as well. Thank you guys for all tuning in. Guys already rattling them off. We're going to get to that one, Guy, for sure. We're kind of rolling with the Saturday Night Live theme, but we're gonna definitely get around to everything that everybody's got to mention.
Absolutely.
I just want to get through these first couple first. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and then National Lampoon. I mean, Clark Griswold, one of the greatest characters of all time.
100%.
I mean, just perfectly casted. I couldn't picture anybody else. And when they remade it and had the guy from The Hangover and Ed Helms, not the same.
Chevy Chase had a cameo in there, but it wasn't enough to really save the film itself. They should have never done it.
No.
What
But
is your
that's how.
I was gonna say, what was your favorite vacation movie? Because there were quite a few.
Wow, it's tough. I mean, it really is. I mean, the original was great. Christy Brinkley, that whole thing, and
Yes.
the dog peed on the picnic basket, and Edna strapped to the roof. I mean, there's just so much stuff, man. It was crazy. But then again, I mean, you look at Christmas Vacation, which in itself was totally hilarious. And even the Vegas Vacation, although it was probably the least successful from a box office perspective. No, actually, European was the worst.
I think I liked European the best. I guess I just have a different kind of taste when it comes to like which one of those particular ones. But yeah, European Vacation, I thoroughly enjoyed.
Pig in the Poke. Eric Idle was great in that too. As the guy on the bicycle. Yeah. So
and obviously he was a part of a comedy troupe there too. You know.
Yeah. Yep. Little group called Monty Python. I think they might have done a thing or two in their day.
Yeah. A couple bits, you know.
Yeah, naughty bits.
Oh, geez. Spam.
Christmas Vacation is not favorites. Vegas is a close second. Okay, Guy likes Vegas Vacation the best. Okay. I mean, there were some great spots in Vegas too, you know, for sure. And the funny thing is which one was it? Hold on, I gotta make sure I got my vacations right. One of the films, Rusty, was played by Johnny Galecki, who was Leonard on The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, that was Christmas, I'm pretty sure.
Was it Christmas?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it was one of them. I just which one. They all kind of blend together for me, but it's a great franchise though. Okay, so and then Chevy kind of, you know, and then of course Caddyshack.
Oh, yes. You and I have talked about that movie numerous times.
I mean, Caddyshack, just again another great character. I definitely would like to own his house in that movie. Oh. That was great. Only if Cindy, what was her name? Cindy Dixon? No, Cindy. I forget her name.
Ron.
the girl who played the judge's niece. See if I remember before I look it up here real quick. Because she was also in Tron.
Yes.
Cindy Morgan.
Okay.
Cindy Morgan, yes. Who was in the original Tron with Jeff Bridges.
I love Tron.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we'll get off Chevy. Really hasn't done much lately. He did that Community, that TV series for a while, and he was universally hated by the entire cast, and he's very difficult to work with these days. So
I was really just going to say that.
Yeah,
that's what I keep hearing from multiple sources. And I'm kind of not surprised. There was always a bit of an aura about him that was kind of very like, I don't know, uptight. I don't know how to describe it properly, but you could tell, like, you say one bad thing or make the wrong move, he's gonna, like, you know.
Yeah, even when he went back to host Saturday Night Live, it was a problem.
Yeah.
That's why he's never been back again since. You know, so, it happens. So what about, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as long as, you know, you could still enjoy, you know, his many performances and stuff like that. You know, you got to separate the actor, or the comedian in this case, from the person. You know, but they're doing their job. They're performing. They're entertaining you. That's ultimately what matters.
He's got a great body of work for sure.
Yeah.
And then Chevy was replaced on Saturday Night Live by a guy named Bill Murray, who came in to fill Chevy's spot. And Bill Murray has had a storied career.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
you
We
know,
we were
in
talking about him
film.
fairly recently. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean he's pretty much played a pretty wide range of characters. I mean,
Hmm.
um, of course, I think that I'm trying to think back to his earlier movies, but I mean, it's kind of hard because they all kind of fell in a tight period of space. You saw him come out with quite a few in pretty good succession.
Hmm.
Because you had you had Caddyshack, of course.
Hmm.
Uh, Carl, iconic,
Hmm.
um, great character. Um, and that was funny because of the relationship between Chevy and Bill. They actually had not interacted in through the entire filming of the film. They
Really?
actually kept them apart. Okay, they did not have a scene together until
Uh-huh.
the studio demanded that they have a scene together.
Hmm.
So they had to go back and reshoot, and they had that entire scene where Chevy is getting ready for the big match, and he hits the ball into Carl's little apartment, um, and he gives him the cannonball and all that stuff.
Hmm.
They improvised that entire scene.
Wow.
There was no script for that scene whatsoever.
That no,
They
that's amazing because it felt so natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yep,
scripted. Shoot.
no script. They just told him, here's what's going to happen, and here's how it's going to start, and here's how it's going to end. You fill in the middle.
Hmm.
And two comic geniuses basically created a scene that I think if it wasn't in the movie, it would have been disappointing. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and I understand why the studio heads wanted those two in particular to at least have one scene. It's star power. You can sell that, but ultimately it worked for the audience. It really did. It's great.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I agree with that for sure. And then stuff like Groundhog Day,
Yes, Groundhog Day, Scrooged. I like that one too.
Scrooged, yeah, excellent
Yeah,
Christmas movie.
very
Uh,
much so.
I always wanted to hit somebody with a toaster. You know, Carol Kane, hilarious.
Hmm.
You know, they couldn't get the antlers to stick on the mice, and it was, they tried to crazy glue them. It didn't work, and he suggested, "Well, did you try Staples?"
I
Yeah,
saw that movie recently too
yeah,
on TV during the Christmas season, and
yeah.
it doesn't matter how many times I've seen it. It's just it always draws me in. It's just so good. And the same thing with Groundhog Day. I swear to you, it's years ago. My first viewing of Groundhog Day was when my family, because I'm a military brat, was stationed in Incirlik, Turkey, and the movie channel on Groundhog Day was playing Groundhog Day all day. And I swear I kept watching it because I loved it. And I was just, I must have been like maybe 10, but I just enjoyed it so much. I just kept watching on repeat to the point where my mom just got completely like, she was like, how can you stand this movie? I'm just like, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
you know,
Yep,
even
for
even at
sure.
10 years old, I could appreciate the work and the effort that was put into there. But wasn't there with Groundhog Day, wasn't there some sort of feud between Bill and was it the director, the writer,
Uh,
something? There was something that happened
there was
and they
some
never.
kind of there was conflict in almost everything he did.
Yeah, yeah. And then they
Yeah,
never worked with each other again, and the person in question was involved with Ghostbusters as well. I'll
yeah,
have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure I'm right.
yeah. Guy with the bitch hit me with a toaster. That's
Yeah, no,
hilarious.
the cameo in Zombieland. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
great. That was great.
yeah, that was good too. Yeah, and then yeah, Ghostbusters. I mean, obviously, he was a big part of that. I think that again, when you look at the remake, and you put a guy like Paul Rudd in the driver's seat. It just doesn't carry the same kind of weight that
It doesn't hit the same. It doesn't.
No, not at all.
I will say this though, in defense, these newer Ghostbusters are far better than the very first remake that came out.
Oh yeah, you talking about the female one?
That was a terrible mess.
Oh, that was so horrible.
The jokes were so shit.
Oh my god, it was.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth. Oh, Chris Hemsworth, right? It wasn't he like the assistant or whatever. I'm pretty sure it was Chris Hemsworth, or was it his brother? Oh, I can't remember.
Nah,
there's so many Hemsworths.
Yeah. I don't think it was Chris. Might have been Liam.
Yeah, and it was just so cringy, man.
Yeah, it was tough to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but yeah. So Bill Murray, and then he ventured into some serious roles too. He made one that he was actually nominated for an Academy Award for the film that he made with Scarlett Johansson.
Oh! I know what you're talking about. Hold up. I want to see if I can pop it up. Lost. No. Shoot.
Lost in Translation.
Oh, I was close. I was so close.
You were right there. Hey, Shannon, how you doing?
Mm.
Yeah, you were
What's
right
up,
there.
Shannon?
Yeah.
No, that's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
I believe
so.
it
He had a
film.
couple serious roles that he was really, really steady in.
Mm-hmm. Showed his range.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And then again, not much recently. These guys are getting up there in age,
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Bill is still out and about. I mean, he's still in the public eye. I think he did have cameo in the newer one, the Afterlife Ghostbusters.
Yes, they all did. They all did.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's out and about.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the two other cast members from the original cast that jump into mind are, of course, Belushi and Aykroyd.
Oh,
and I kind of grouped them together.
You have
just because they just seem to go together.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, Blues Brothers, like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, Blues Brothers for its time was just unbelievable, and it relaunched the music careers of guys like Hooker, John D. Hooker, and Aretha Franklin, and Ray Charles. I mean, their album sales went through the roof after that movie. So I mean, that soundtrack was amazing, and Blues Brothers really started as a sketch on Saturday Night Live.
Yes, you are absolutely
it was
correct.
just a throwaway.
That.
Yeah, I mean, it was it was a 1 o'clock throwaway after Weekend Update, and Belushi and Aykroyd came out with the suitcase handcuffed to him, and he walked out on stand. They had the suits and the glasses on, and they walk out and they unlock the briefcase, and Aykroyd reaches in and pulls his harmonica out. That's what was in the suitcase, in the briefcase. And Aykroyd is an accomplished harmonica player.
In real life.
That's all him.
Wow. Okay. All right.
He's a very accomplished musician. Yeah. And he makes a pretty good vodka too.
I was gonna say Crystal Head vodka. Yeah. I'm aware of that.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Reverend Grimm show. I saw all those glass skulls around the living room there. I was like, what the hell is this? Is it Friday? So yeah, it was kind of funny. So
I was just gonna mention the travesty that was Blues Brothers 2000.
Oh God.
Why do they do this? These Hollywood like corporate executives or whatever, they go, oh, it'd be great to make a knockoff, and then they don't put any effort or love into it, and they just dish it out, and it like basically shits on the original that inspired it. It's just like, come on.
Yeah. Well, John Goodman and Jim Belushi, I believe, was it not?
What's that?
It was Jim Belushi, John's brother. and John Goodman.
And I think Dan Aykroyd was also in it still.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I only saw it once. I couldn't do it. That was when the little kid, and that was enough for me.
Yeah, I don't blame you for only seeing it once. You don't need to see it again. Unless
And
you want to
then,
do studies on how not to make a sequel, then there's
exactly. Hey, the first one had a great soundtrack. Let's make sure this one's crap.
Yeah.
The other one had a bunch of legendary musicians. This one doesn't.
Nope.
Okay. Cab Calloway. I mean, you did have him in there, but he wasn't enough.
Nope, not by a long shot.
So Belushi, obviously Animal House, who's in our opening sequence there.
Yes. Animal House.
We've already mentioned two movies that are in the opening sequence, so this is a topic near and dear for me.
Yes.
So, yeah, Belushi and Animal House, great movie. Made on a very low budget. Almost didn't get made. Got shopped around to a bunch of studios. They couldn't find a college that would allow them to shoot on location. There was just so much that made it almost not happen. Let me put it that way. And not to mention Doug Kenny's addiction problem as one of the main writers of the film. He was having a lot of issues at the time. So, but it, just other Belushi movies that come to mind. What do you have any that?
I was actually going to bring up a skit from Saturday Night Live, but before I do that, I did want to make a statement about Animal House.
Okay,
is that the way that they constructed the story and with all the comedic geniuses involved, it is a comedy piece that cannot be replicated. And I know this for a fact because I'm a little embarrassed to say it, but I was a part of a production, an actual film, an actual movie. Okay. You can literally buy it on Amazon or go to a Walmart or whatever. It's called Mancation. And when I heard it was inspired by Animal House and whatnot, National Lampoon, that sort of thing, I was completely all for it. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I get to be involved in something like that zany or whatever. And it was soulless. And for anyone who may be watching that worked with me on that film or was part of that film, I'm sorry, this is just my personal opinion, but they really tried to copy and paste Animal House, and it was lackluster compared to it. And then at some points it got too extreme where they were pushing for like almost like an X-rated material type. It was the Animal House is legitimately funny. It can be raunchy, of course, but it never went like too extreme where it became like disgusting to watch. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Animal House is a masterpiece.
Yes. Anybody else in the chat have any Aykroyd or Belushi movies that they're fans of? I mean, we're rambling on here, but it's obviously is. Myself in particular rambling because I'm very passionate about that period of comedy. So I'm trying to, and like I said, that we mentioned Nothing But Trouble. That was very bizarre. Very bizarre.
Because this is your field and you're so passionate about it, I know you'll be able to answer this question, but I was going to bring up a skit that I really loved from Belushi. What was that character? He worked at like a sushi place. He had the sword.
Samurai.
Samurai. Okay. Yeah.
Samurai Taylor, Samurai Delicatessen.
Cracks me up.
Yeah. A lot of them were with Buck Henry, who was very involved in the early stages of the show. My Girl was a sneaky good Aykroyd movie. From Mr. Nast. Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget about that one.
I do. Yeah. I was just going to say, I completely forgot about that. Was great. And that also had Macaulay Culkin in it as well.
Right.
Young,
Hey,
young.
Gina's in the house. How you doing, Gina?
What's up?
Good to see you. Yes, I mean that was another one. Coneheads, yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Was Coneheads? I'm pretty sure that was also a skit, right? Initially.
It was initially a skit, yes.
Okay, okay.
Turned into that was actually the first, I think, skit turned into a movie from Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
I think
One
that
that,
was the,
yeah, one that I'm sure we'll get to because of a particular actor in question slash comedian who was involved with Saturday Night Live. But another, I don't want to say knockoff of a skit, but like, one that carried over into a movie, Night at the Roxbury. I love that.
that came up the other night in another show.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, somebody mentioned it. It was like I broke the window again. Yeah, those guys were hilarious in that with Chris Kattan and Will Farrell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was definitely a good one.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point we'll get into Will Ferrell as well because he's still fairly prominent today in movies.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's still going pretty strong. Celtic Pride. I have not seen Celtic Pride.
Wow. Okay. I was just going to say, like, Ron, you might have to take this one, but if you haven't seen it either, then we're both.
Nah, you got us both on that one there, Johnny. I am not familiar, but I'm going to have to go look it up now for sure.
Uh-oh. I think he's going to get after us.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Don't you give me, wait, what? You haven't seen Star Wars?
Whoa.
Stop.
Whoa. He hasn't seen Star Wars?
No.
What? How?
Yes, that's right. It was on the Grimm show. That's where it was. When Night at the Roxbury came up. Daniel Stern and Dan Aykroyd. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, because I like Daniel Stern.
I got to check that. So
yeah. Wait. That's another interesting thing because in My Girl, Dan Aykroyd and then Macaulay Culkin, and then in this Celtic Pride, Dan Aykroyd, Daniel Stern was in Home Alone.
Right.
Like the connections, it's crazy.
Yeah. Now pulling Damon Wayans out now too. And I guess he was in Celtic Pride. Damon Wayans, who also appeared in one season on Saturday Night Live. So there you go. It all tied back.
Yeah.
That
reminds me. I gotta find this movie here. With I'm pretty sure Damon, the Wayans brothers were in this. It's one of my favorites. I'm gonna pop it up real quick. Damon Wayans.
Are you gonna say White Chicks?
No. Oh, that was so bad. That was so bad.
The one that comes to mind for me is Blank Man. Yeah.
Oh, Blank Man. Yeah, that was great. No. I got it. This is my favorite one that they ever did. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Oh my God, it was so good.
There was another one called "I'm Going to Get You, Sucker."
Yeah.
Which was also a good one. Also,
both
takeoffs on those old black exploitation films of the 70s.
Oh, what was that one where he's like a drill sergeant or something?
Major Payne.
Yeah.
Yes. That was a good one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Damon had quite a few pretty decent films. And his time on Living Color. I mean,
Living Color is amazing.
That show is just so before its time.
Yeah, and that's where Jim Carrey really got his start. I mean, he was doing like movies here and there, but before he really shot up, he was a regular on that show.
Yeah. Gina's on the Major Payne train.
Yes.
One of her favorites. Nice. Yeah, so I mean, definitely got through that. The original cast. There were a few others, here and there. I mean, the other cast members had moderate success. I mean, Gilda passed too soon, or I think she would have continued to make great quality work. Um, Jane Curtin, did some Third Rock from the Sun on TV was a great vehicle for her.
Mhm.
Not so much in the movies though.
Yeah. I
Really,
mean,
other than she wasn't Coneheads, but
yeah. And speaking of Gone Too Soon, obviously Belushi himself,
yeah,
I really
yeah,
feel if that, if he didn't pass, he would have continued to reach further heights because his comedy was very unique.
yeah. I mean, he would have been if Belushi had continued. You don't know if there would ever have been a Chris Farley.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's a good point.
And if you plug Belushi into some of those Chris Farley roles,
Mhm.
like could you imagine Chris Farley, John Belushi in Tommy Boy,
Okay, okay.
you know, or Belushi in something like Black Sheep,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, which honestly, I mean, he played basically the same character,
Mhm.
just slightly modified, but I mean, Farley was a great actor that passed too soon. You're right,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
And they both fell victim to the same kind of vices.
Unfortunately, yeah. It
Yeah,
really is a shame. It really is.
yeah,
Especially when you have movies like I'm actually, well, I shouldn't be surprised that you brought up Black Sheep. But a lot of people know more about Tommy Boy than they do Black Sheep. I happen to like both, especially in
yeah.
Black Sheep when he's falling down the hill and it just keeps
Uh-huh.
going.
Yeah.
I,
And he,
what I was going to say though is sure, maybe hypothetically speaking, in an alternate universe, John Belushi played those roles, but it makes me wonder who would have been his like partner or his his co-star in that
his
film.
David Spade, so to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah, and would it have worked the same? Because obviously, you and I both know. I know this too. That Chris Farley and David Spade were they were really good friends, and their
Yeah.
chemistry between the two of them
Yeah.
was
It would
flawless.
have been hard to say. You don't know what kind of relationships he would have forged. And he would have been a little bit older then and maybe not able to do some of the slapstick stuff that Farley was able to do,
Yeah,
because he did he was quite I don't want to say athletic, but he was very physical in his comedy.
yes, yes,
And Belushi at that point would have probably been a little older and probably, with a lot of his substance, you know, concerns, you don't know how he would have been able to carry
yeah.
stuff like that, you know. So we go from the original cast to another period of time with Saturday Night Live. So what's this? Gary Busey cameo in Black Sheep. Yeah. I don't know. My brain right now, every time I hear the word Gary Busey, there's this clip going around on social media about him talking about buttered sausage. And I was just like, I'm just it's just ruined my head. It's just pops in my head like random times during the day. Like doing not driving somewhere, and I'm just like buttered sausage. And I'm like, what the hell? Where did that
he
come from?
he's a bit
He's out
loony.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
What the hell was that all about?
Oh man, yeah, no, Black Sheep is great. It's great.
Yeah, and Tommy Boy, obviously, a really good one. Yeah, yeah. Farley was a good talent. I mean, that
Yeah,
Chippendale scene in
with Patrick
with
Swayze.
Patrick Swayze in Saturday Night Live. Oh my God.
Uh,
Or the I would have liked to have seen him stay around and do a Matt Foley, the inspirational speaker.
oh, Matt Foley is the best.
Yeah,
He did quite a bit of them actually. I know the one that most people know is the one with the initial one with Phil Hartman as the dad. And
yeah,
who was, I know David Spade was the son.
Yeah.
Who was the sister? I know I
Christina Applegate.
Okay, that's who it was.
Yeah.
Most people know that clip, but or that particular sketch, but they did others. You can find them easily on YouTube. They're
Oh
hilarious.
yeah. Oh yeah. Alan mentioned the thing that happened with Gary Busey at Monster Mania in Cherry Hill, where he was actually criminally charged.
Wait, what? What happened?
He was inappropriate in some of his interactions with a couple of women.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm not shocked. But
Yeah. And that was quite a while ago too.
wow,
And,
and that was in Cherry Hill.
In Cherry Hill at Monster Mania.
Damn.
Monster Com or whatever it was. I remember reading about that. And actually, Alan told the story before, sometime in the past. I remember him telling the story about it. So, yeah, that was not a good deal. 2 years ago. Okay. Yeah.
One other thing too.
Yep.
God, with Farley, you could connect him to so many others, like obviously Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
But I know he was initially supposed to play Shrek.
That is correct.
Yes, and we all know that Michael Myers ended up taking over the role after his passing. I am a little blurry on this, but wasn't Michael Myers on that SNL?
He was.
Okay, I thought so.
Well, that's where Wayne's World came from.
Oh, duh, yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. His first and last appearance at MonsterCon. Yeah, I would imagine so, John.
Yeah.
You get you go out in handcuffs, you're probably not going to be invited back. Plus, I'm sure that those young ladies sued the sponsors of the event as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Mike Myers. Actually, I put Dana Carvey and Mike Myers kind of together as well.
Oh, that's cool.
But I mean, Myers had a whole career of his own.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Dana, unfortunately, through a couple bad choices, might have slowed his star with some of his movie choices.
Yeah, like what's the one shoot where he has all the Master Disguise.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That was
Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
Not turtly enough for the Turtle Club.
And he's got the shell.
Yeah, and then he's doing all these other impressions like Scarface, Al Pacino and things like that. It's if I just want to put something on just for whatever, just to kill time, I'll put it on there. But in no way is it like an excellent film or even a great film.
James Brolin was in that too.
Yeah. But it's funny with Michael Myers. Yeah, Wayne's World, of course. Wayne's World. Yeah.
And those were hugely popular.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the movies, the movies themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I obviously would imagine the skits were too, because they wouldn't have made the movies had the skits not been popular. But a really awesome Michael Myers movie that a lot of people don't know about. I found it by accident about like 3 years ago, and I think it's great. But it's So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Oh yeah, yep. With Nancy Travis in there.
Yeah.
That was really funny actually. The character of his father, when he played the multiple roles in that movie,
yes,
that actually inspired two things. Number one, Sweet Harriet, yep, that's it. In the coffee shop, it inspired Fat Bastard in the Austin Powers movies.
Yes.
And it also inspired the voice of Shrek. When he did Shrek, that was, part of his inspiration, because originally Shrek was going to have an English accent.
Yes.
And then after Mike took over, he was doing some recording, and he did it in a Scottish accent, and he took it to the filmmakers and said, what if he sounded like this. And they were like, oh my God, that's it. So they actually went back and re-recorded the entire script.
Mm-hmm.
They already had stuff in the can, and they thought that Myers was just going to come in and kind of impersonate the impersonation,
Mm-hmm.
from some of the tests, some of the screen test production that they had made to, kind of get the basis for the character.
Mm-hmm.
And so they went back in and they said, yeah, we got to do it in Scottish. And then that's where Shrek got his voice, pretty much.
Yeah, and it just took off from there. I think
Yeah.
there's a new one coming out.
Oh, that would be awesome if there was. I would pay to see it. Absolutely.
Same. And there is another connection too with Shrek, aside from Farley and Michael Myers, but Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. Yep. True.
Yep. Some of my favorite skits from Saturday Night Live are from him.
Yeah. And now, were you a Gumby guy?
Yes.
I'm Gumby, damn it. I am show business.
I also loved his Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah. He just recently, fairly recently anyway, came back to the current Saturday Night Live, and they did a sketch, and it was Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood.
Yeah, he did Gumby that night too when he came back and hosted.
Oh, did he?
It was a Christmas episode. About 2 years ago, I guess it was. And he came back and did all the characters. He did Mr. Robinson, and he did Gumby, and he did Velvet Jones, in his hose, where he was a pimp, and he was selling How to Be a Hoe. Had a book he was selling. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look up that.
Yeah, that was a Christmas episode, but that whole episode was really good.
Oh man.
So, there was one in that same show. There was a skit about it was a takeoff on like the baking shows on the Cooking Channel, where they say, "Oh, what did you make for us today?" And they say, "Oh, well, inspired by Frozen. This is and they give this big story on how they made this item, and then they lift it up, and it's like an atrocious pile of something, and they're just like, oh. Okay, and they're like, "Yeah, it's not very good." But yeah, that was a great skit on that episode as well. So I mean, that whole Carvey, Myers, Farley group, I mean, definitely was a heyday, I would say. And then with Eddie Murphy, I mean, if you want to talk about Eddie Murphy for a minute.
Yeah, that's cool.
And go through some of his stuff. I mean, starting with Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes, which is getting a fourth film.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's going to be a Netflix exclusive, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so, because I think he did something else exclusive for them.
Yeah, and they're getting everybody back, which is just freaking awesome, which is why I actually have a lot of faith in it.
But Bronson Pinchot as Surge in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes. And that soundtrack too is so catchy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was a great sound. Well, you said soundtrack. You said John's magic word. I'm sure he'll have one to say about that.
Axel Foley. Yep. Wasn't the initial person who was supposed to play Axel, wasn't it like an action star like Sly Stallone or someone? I feel like
I remember something that it was totally different, and it was a white actor. It escapes me real quick, but let me
I'm pretty sure I'm right about that.
You may be right. Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right, Judge Reinhold. Yep. He's so good. He's been in a lot of. He was also in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Love that movie.
Yeah.
Gremlins. Yeah. That guy is awesome. And he's coming back too, which is just fantastic.
Yeah, it was Stallone.
Okay.
Yep. Now it's funny because at the Keswick Theater over in Philly, They're having a screening of Fast Times with a Q&A from Judge Reinhold.
Really?
Yeah, and the tickets are like $125.
Wow.
But yeah, it's coming up I think next month or so at the Keswick. They've done that previously. They did Princess Bride with Carrie Elwes.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
some people
pricey.
say that especially when I was younger, he was basically my doppelganger, Carrie.
Yeah. I know something you don't know. I am not left-handed. Wait, you could throw that in Saturday Night Live because Billy Crystal was in it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. There's another connection.
So we could talk about Christmas Bride, Princess Bride. Yeah. And also Christopher Guest was in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Who was also a cast member.
Yeah, Princess Bride is an incredible movie, and I've heard whispers that they're going to be remaking it, but
oh God, I hope
that's
not.
a movie that you should not touch. It was a product of its time. It was made exactly when it needed to be made with the exact cast that needed to be in that particular story for those particular characters. You cannot recreate that. It's going to ruin the legacy if they go ahead and do that. And that's what I'm sick of, is they can't come up with their own ideas and they remake everything and ruin like the legacy, you know?
But I mean, Wallace Shawn is still around. He could probably still do it, right? He's been on Young Sheldon.
Yeah.
He's still active. But, who do you get to play Andre's part?
Mm-hmm, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Those particular people were meant for those particular roles. It just wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there. But if they were to go back and make Robin Hood Men in Tights, I'd watch that.
What?
If Mel updated Robin Hood Men in Tights, I would.
Oh, okay. As long as it was like okay, gotcha. I thought you were talking about like if strangers did it or people who were not affiliated.
No, it would have to be Mel.
Yeah, Mel Brooks, legend.
He tried to do History of the World. It did not impress me.
Oh, you're talking about the new one. It was a Hulu.
Hi,
right?
Katie. How you doing? Yes, absolutely. Katie's in the house.
What's up?
But yeah, so those were so getting back to Eddie Murphy. I mean, we got off on a little bit of a tangent there. So other than, if you look at the other stuff like the Clumps and Coming to America was a great one.
Oh yes, that was awesome. So good. And that was with Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio Hall, correct?
Yeah. Those two
and
were great.
They both played multiple parts in that too.
Yes, they did.
So, Pluto Nash. Oh my God, Pluto Nash was just insane.
Yeah, that was
that's a good one I hadn't thought about in a while.
And there's also
they remade I Spy with Eddie Murphy and Owen Wilson.
Yeah, I remember when that came out. And another good one is Dr. Dolittle.
Dr. Dolittle, there you go. That's another good one. 1,000 Words. I don't know as much about that one.
Yeah, me neither.
But Pluto was pretty bad.
I guess I know some
definitely
people
bombed at the box office.
Yes. I know some people find it as a guilty pleasure, but I just couldn't personally get into it.
Yeah, that's true. So let's see. Eddie Murphy. I mean, I'm sure there's other ones that we forgot to talk about, but Chad, if you got any more Eddie Murphys, just throw them out there.
Send them our way.
Yeah.
Norbit.
Oh, that was Norbit. Norbit was almost as bad as Pluto Nash. The Haunted Mansion. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you could still, Haunted Mansion, although there was the new one that just came out, but you could see the one with him, Eddie Murphy, on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
almost forgot about that one too.
you weren't a fan of Norbit, huh?
Yeah, no, not really.
I
I,
thought it
cou- I
was.
could I could have done without it, but I mean, some of it was funny.
I was just literally just talking about guilty pleasures. That's one for me.
Yeah, Norbit.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
and
fair.
he played dual roles in that as well. So
Yeah, yeah. Once you get into that, you kind of want to. That's kind of what Mike Myers fell into as well. He felt like he had to keep on making new characters,
mhm.
and they kept on working.
Yeah,
Especially in the Daddy Daycare.
I
Yeah,
love Daddy Daycare.
that's absolutely that's a good one.
There was a sequel to that, wasn't there? But I don't
There
think it was
was,
with Eddie
yes,
Murphy, right?
yes, correct. They definitely made at least two, and there might
Yeah,
have been another one direct to video.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So going from the successful actors that we just discussed, I mean, you look at a guy like Rob Schneider,
Okay,
who, as a lead actor, has laid a couple real turds.
yeah,
Yeah, like The Animal and Deuce Bigelow. Although the first Deuce Bigelow, there was a little bit of funny stuff in that.
there
But
was some charm to it. There was some
yeah,
charm.
well, and the one where he was in prison. What the heck was that one?
Mm.
What the heck was that called?
I'm trying to think of the one. Oh God, I should know this because I saw this fairly recently too. But the one where he switches bodies with
Yeah,
yeah, Anna Ferris, I believe.
yeah, Anna Faris. Yeah,
Yeah. What was
yep.
that one called?
That was called. What the heck was that called?
I should know this.
Yeah, I should too. I'm on it. Jessica, it's me. I can picture the whole movie in my head, and I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah.
The prison one was called Big Stan.
Big Stan.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if I've
definitely
seen
not.
that one.
Didn't do much at the box office, but he was a guy in prison, and the hot chick is the one where he was the girl.
Okay.
The Animal. That was strange. And then, of course, every Adam Sandler movie.
Well, the thing about, I was literally just going to bring that up because obviously Adam Sandler is also connected to Saturday Night Live. And to give credit where credit's due, Rob Schneider, when he plays like bit parts, supporting roles in Adam Sandler movies, he's really good. He's really good. It's just some of the lead stuff is just kind of hit and miss.
Yes, John, correct. He was, and yeah, Alan, he was in The Longest Yard. And Katie nailed the "It's me, Jessica."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they then they did the clapping handshake thing, and then, that was pretty funny. But yeah, John threw this up. Necessary Roughness is the play-by-play announcer, and that was a football movie that had Scott Bakula and Kathy Ireland was the kicker of a football team, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's right. And there's another connection too. The bellman in Home Alone 2. Yeah.
And him and that might have been the first time him and Donald Trump got together. He's a big Trump fan.
Yep.
So yeah, they both appeared in Home Alone 2. There you go. Little Nicky. Yeah.
I really like Little Nicky.
Yeah, little Nicky was great.
You know who had a cameo role in that, right?
besides Ozzy?
I'm pretty sure I'm correct in this, but
Okay.
I believe it was Quentin Tarantino.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, he was the blind guy
Yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah.
sidewalk. Yep. Every time he showed up, he knew it was the devil.
He would start freaking out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Katie got it.
Mm-hmm.
when he's in the park and he's like, I will eat your heart. No, I love it, man. Katie, those are great.
No, they really are. They really are.
They really throw stuff out there that we sometimes overlook. But there's so many great quotes in that. Oh my God.
And then the dog in the movie,
yeah.
Little Nicky.
Mr. Beef, Mr. Beefy.
Yeah. Yep. I remember that line too. Katie knows.
Yeah. He's like, Popeye's chicken is the shiznit.
Demolition Man.
Yeah. Rob Schneider was in there too.
Yep. Oh shoot! Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I almost forgot.
Oh, Demolition Man. Yeah, because I mean, you got Wesley Snipes in there. You got Sandra Bullock and Sly and.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow! I mean, there were a ton of people in that.
That's actually
Benjamin Bratt. Yeah, the guy from the Cop Show.
I was just gonna say I love Demolition Man.
Oh, it was great.
Great, and the highest of order when it came to food enterprises was Taco Bell because they won. It was some sort of dispute. Do you remember that in the movie? And Taco Bell was like the luxurious place to die.
Was like the fancy restaurant. He's inviting us to Taco Bell. Yeah, Dennis Leary in there too. Yeah, as the head of the resistance there. Don't make me tell my Dennis Leary story.
Oh, Dennis Leary story.
I hung out drinking with Dennis Leary.
Whoa, in Hollywood. Whoa. Are you serious?
Oh, I never told you this?
No.
Okay, hang on.
I have to know this.
Here's a quick story. We got to interrupt Real Talk for this. But it's totally related because I was out in Hollywood attending the Blockbuster Video Awards. The inaugural Blockbuster Video Awards, which lasted all of about 3 years. Mm-hmm. Okay, but I won a huge sales contest and got an all expense paid trip for two to Hollywood, and part of it was attending the awards. So I mean, they had us rent tuxedos, we had a limo, we had the whole shoot match.
Wow.
So the actual shooting of the award show took place at like 3:00 in the afternoon in order to be on the East Coast live at 7, 8 o'clock. So we're in the middle of the afternoon and we go to this award show. Well, we're there. And the way it worked is that every time there was a commercial break, they would push everybody in the crowd. They would use seat fillers. So we were actually being seat fillers because we were there with the company, with Blockbuster. So we kept on getting pushed towards the front. Next thing you know, we're right in the middle in like the first 10 rows. Okay. So we're sitting there and right in front of us is Dennis Leary, John Lovitz, and Timothy Hutton.
No way. No way.
So we're sitting there and me and my buddy are like cracking jokes and they're laughing and they're cracking jokes and we're laughing. Next thing you know, we're exchanging pleasantries or whatever. But not being like fanboys. We weren't like asking for autographs or anything like that. It wasn't appropriate. So we leave after the show is over, we go into the reception area. So we go into this reception area and we're, some of the B-list, celebrities are out there circulating around. Well, next thing you know, come walking past us was Lovitz and Leary and Tim Hutton. And they're like, yeah, losers in the B-list party, huh? And he just said, well, we just raised our glasses. And they're like, come on. He said, just don't act like a tourist. So he took us into the VIP area.
Oh, wow.
So we went into the VIP area and we got to see like Shania Twain, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, Johnny Depp.
Oh my God.
Like all these celebrities, right? And they're like, just be cool. So we ended up talking to a bunch of these people, except for, Tom Cruise and Nicole kind of stayed to themselves. But Coolio, I mean, Brandy. I'm trying to think of all the people we interacted with, but there were a lot.
That's amazing. How did you never tell me this?
I'm sure that I did. You probably just forgot.
Are you sure?
Anyway, going forward. So we're in the VIP. We're having drinks. We're having a good time. And then we go to leave the party. It's breaking up. So I said to my buddy, I said, there's no way that they only rented these limos for a couple of hours. I said, let me check something. So I go up to the driver of our limo and I said, well, would I be correct in assuming that you're booked for the entire evening for us? And he's like, yes, sir. I said, yeah, that's what I thought. I said, to the liquor store, James. We went to the liquor store. We grabbed a couple people. We loaded this limo up with all kinds of alcohol, and we're driving around Hollywood. So we make a couple stops, but, and we're still in like half a tuxedo. We still got the credentials on. And every time we stop somewhere, like people are trying to see who it is. And we like roll the window down a little bit and wave and like roll the window back up, So we go to the Viper Room, which for those of you who are not familiar, is a club that's was owned by Johnny Depp. And actually was the place where River Phoenix passed away on the front steps. After partying there.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix was there too.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're pulled up to the Viper Room and we stop and people are trying to see in. There's a line with like a velvet rope and there's like 100 and some people standing in line trying to get in. And we're in the limo and we pull up and everybody's like trying to see who it is. And we're just playing it cool. So we said, okay. So we didn't know what was going to happen, but we said, just open the door. We're going to get out. And if they turn us away, that's fine. So we get out and we're starting to get out of the limo when another limo pulls up behind us. And it's Lovitz and Leary and Tim Hutton.
Oh my God. What are they?
And he's like, you effers following us? I said, you're behind us, bitch. So he's like, fair enough. Let's go. So the the 5 of us went in and hung out and drank with him all night till like 7, 8 in the morning. And then got our limo and went back to the hotel in Beverly Hills.
That is absolutely fantastic. Fantastic.
Crazy night of a lifetime.
I would have remembered that because you brought up so many different stars that like now I'm like picturing it, like especially with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman because they were dating at the time.
Yes.
But that's wow. But that is a memory that you will cherish for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. And that's a little bit of a sidetrack there, so I apologize, guys, but it was movie related and it was Saturday Night Live related because John Lovitz was there.
Yes.
So there you go. I'm Kevin Baconing again.
Yep, exactly. It's all good.
Which is what we do here on Real Talk, just in case you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what we talk about, we can link it back to Kevin Bacon. So it's all good. We got this.
Indeed.
Some night we should just just have people name random people and just see if we can connect them back to Kevin Bacon.
Now that would actually be a fun idea. I feel like you and I could totally like knock that out.
Oh yeah, we could nail that. That's keep that one in mind for a future show.
Yes, because we're always making the connections during all these other various topics. We could totally do that as like a whole, and that would be very interactive for our audience, and all of us would just be coming together. That would be very fun.
Yep, absolutely. It'd be a good challenge for what is always a very informed crowd here, as far as our chat members go. They have some great movie knowledge. I mean, I know for a fact, we get Gina and Mama D and Katie and Mr. Nast and Alan. I mean, Shannon. I could name a bunch of people. A Guy. We could definitely kick ass on that for sure.
Absolutely, damn straight.
So, and I'm sorry if I didn't say your name. I could sit here and say names all night, but we just have a very, very well informed and fun crowd when it comes to those who share chat with us here on Real Talk. So
yes,
yep, yeah, it's quite a collection, that's for sure.
Yes, I did. Yeah, you sent me the picture. I'm just like, holy shit, he wasn't kidding.
Yep. Yeah. So it's okay. So Schneider. Not so much, more cameos than starring roles.
Yeah, and I was just saying that, like, when you give him like bit parts and stuff like that, he nails it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like a lead, he's not in my opinion anyway, he's not really made for it,
And another guy who fits in that's on the list too is Randy Quaid.
Oh, yes, of course.
Randy Quaid was a cast member at SNL.
Mm-hmm.
And he, the famous role of Cousin Eddie.
Yes.
And his role in Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
Classic. And all the vacation movies. Absolutely.
Yeah. Except Christmas Vacation 2.
Christmas Vacation 2.
You've never seen it?
I did not.
Don't. It is a direct-to-video sequel starring Randy Quaid playing Eddie. And it is so bad, so terrible. God. Oh, it's one of the worst movies you will ever watch.
Here's a good one. There's been 2 feature films that I know of. Well, 3 that have prominently featured bowling. And this was one of them. Kingpin with Woody Harrelson and Randy Quaid.
Mm-hmm.
And and the girl from what was her name? She was from the TV spinoff of Weird Science. What was her name? God. Somebody get it before I do.
We shall see.
And you had Bill Murray in there too. Bill Murray and Woody Harrelson. Vanessa Angel.
Yeah. As soon as you said it,
yeah.
John typed it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We had Ernie McCracken, which was a great role for Bill Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Elliott was in there too. Yeah, Kingpin. The movies, theatrical movies that involved bowling. The only ones that I ever knew of that really were prominent was Big Lebowski, was Kingpin, and there was a movie called Dreamer with Tim Matheson, which also featured him working in a bowling alley and then going out on the Pro Bowlers tour. And that was the only 3 prominent movies that I remember that specifically centered around bowling.
Yeah, I love The Big Lebowski.
Claudia,
I absolutely love it.
Yeah, Lebowski was great. The dude is a classic character.
Yes, any of the Coen brothers films that we actually talked about this briefly in a previous episode or whatever, but obviously there's Raising Arizona, which is great. Fargo. Yep. Fargo is so good.
Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yes. My dad introduced me to that movie. It's John Goodman was in that too.
Correct.
Yeah.
And John Goodman was in Lebowski too.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm telling you, this Kevin Bacon,
and he was in Raising Arizona too.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
See, it
all
all ties back.
intertwined. Yep.
Yeah. And somewhere I think Kevin Bacon watched it once. So there you go. Ties back to Kevin Bacon.
I don't think I saw I don't think I saw Dreamer.
Dreamer was, it did hardly anything at the box office, but at the time I was really into bowling, so it really kind of, it was one that stuck in my head. But that was definitely a Tim Matheson from Animal House, Otter as a professional bowler.
Yeah,
So,
no. I find bowling interesting myself. A part of me wants to kind of pick it up as a hobby because I used to do like the leagues and stuff when I was younger. It's so much fun.
Yep, we have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now, how about Will Ferrell?
Oh yes, of course. We mentioned him briefly in the beginning of the show, but he's the one I believe out of all of them. Aside from, it's debatable because I mean Michael Myers and Eddie Murphy are still around, but they're not doing as much as they used to when it comes to distribution and movies and stuff like that. But yeah, Will Ferrell is still. There's always something popping out with him. Always, he's just so good. And he was. Didn't he become prominent? It was like the early 2000s SNL.
Yes.
Okay, because I know he wasn't part of the 90s group, but definitely like the early 2000s is when he showed up, and his humor was so contagious.
Oh yeah. I mean the one that really hit me that he was just totally off his rocker was the one where he comes into a business meeting on Casual Friday, and he's wearing booty shorts. They're like red, white, and blue booty shorts, and he's like nothing's going on. It was just the whole scene was just off the wall.
And he was notorious for having other cast members break character, including himself, because of just his delivery of the lines. And one of my favorites is the cowbell skit.
Yeah. They were definitely, but anything that had Jimmy Fallon in it, he was always breaking up.
Yeah,
he could never keep a straight face because there were plenty of scenes that had Jimmy Fallon in them where he was the one that was breaking first, and then that caused other people to break.
I absolutely love it when the cast members break on the show. For me, it makes it even more funny because they also realize how insane the skits are, and some of the dialogue is just wonderful.
And they picked it up from a classic TV show, because the classic TV show that kind of originated that was Tim Conway and Harvey Korman on the Carol Burnett Show.
Okay.
They would constantly do things just to break everybody up. And Lyle Wagner, who is a serious actor, who ended up being on the show, who was kind of trying his hand at comedy, would hate it when these guys would just go off. But Tim Conway would just, he was really the Robin Williams of his time, where he would just go off on a tangent. And if he saw he was starting to break you, he would just push it further and push it further until you broke.
Yeah.
And him and Harvey went back and forth for years. So
that's, it's interesting because that would have been someone who would have been beneficial for Saturday Night Live. But at the same time, it's like, I wonder how his comedy would have, if it would have potentially clashed with others. But, you mentioned obviously Robin Williams, and he's great. And I know way back when, because of how funny he is, I just automatically assumed that he was part of the SNL lineup at some point. But no, he actually got his start with Mork and Mindy, and that was a spinoff of Happy Days.
Correct.
And and that's where he got his start. And it was Mork. It was Mork. That was the character's name. And his comedy was so different, especially during that time. Like, no one ever seen anything like that before. And he shot off. We all know his career, man.
Yeah. Well, Penny Marshall, Gary Marshall was the executive producer of Happy Days.
Yes.
Penny
Yes.
Marshall was his sister.
Hmm.
Okay. She had seen Robin do stand up in San Francisco. And she said to Gary, this guy is just, he, he's just beyond words.
Hmm.
So it turned out that Gary Marshall's granddaughter had at one time said that she was really into, at the time, um, like Star Wars,
Hmm.
when Star Wars first came out.
Gary
And
Marshall
then
was
everybody
involved.
was, obsessed with space. And they're like, you got to have a spaceman on your show. So he went to the writers and he said, we need to write for, create some kind of a spaceman character, and build a story around it. At
Hmm.
this point, they were running out of story ideas anyway.
Yeah.
They had already, the origination of jumping the shark
Oh yes, yes, with that whole scheme, or
originated in
this
Happy Days when
with
Fonzie
Fonzie.
was in California and he literally water skied and jumped the shark.
Yep, yep.
And that became a term in Hollywood for when a sitcom had run out of ideas and just done some crazy stunt.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest mistakes that they made with that show, and I love Happy Days. Don't get me wrong, I love Happy
Yep.
Days, but when it first started initially, it was Ron Howard's character, Richard Cunningham, who was like the main central piece. The Fonzie character took off and was like an overnight sensation, and then they decided to like change focus and move it more towards Fonzie, and I felt like that was the beginning of the end. That's just my opinion, because it just seems like it didn't have the same kind of heart or the same that the first like couple seasons did. But
Well, Ron Howard wasn't real happy about it initially, even though they're still friends today.
Oh yeah, yeah.
When it was going on, Ron Howard was not happy because he was being billed as, he was sold on the show as being the star of the show. And then
Henry Winkler,
this one-off character, all of a sudden immediately goes through the roof. And then they changed the whole direction of the show. It happened again in a show called Family Matters with Urkel, where originally Urkel was supposed to be a one episode character.
Yeah.
And he just exploded. And then by the end, it was the Urkel and Carl show. And the other characters, were totally resenting it because they were, being ignored because 3/4 of the screen time was Urkel and, or Urkel playing dual roles.
Yeah.
And Carl,
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So, Will Ferrell, what else? What are your favorite Will Ferrell movies? Are you an Elf guy? Are you an Elf guy?
I love Elf. I think Elf is great. It's one of those Christmas movies that I will put on, every time. It's just so good. Okay. Peter Dinklage too is in that movie with the one scene. Yeah. Oh my god! And then James Caan and the whole cast there. The one, who's the one woman though? I should know her name. The young actress.
In what, in Elf?
Yeah.
Who was it? It wasn't Anna Faris, right?
No, it was not Anna Faris. No.
Okay.
Was it Zooey Deschanel?
Yes, it was. That's correct.
Was she blonde in the movie, or am I thinking of somebody else?
No, Zoe was the main.
Okay.
Main female character, yeah. John says Ricky Bobby and Step Brothers. Well, Talladega Nights.
Yes.
And
Talladega Nights. Mm-hmm.
Talladega Nights, I thought was hilarious myself personally.
It's great. It's great. Shake and bake.
Yeah, shake and bake. Yeah, and yeah, and those guys in both of those movies, they worked really well together.
John's like, "Come on, Dave, don't doubt me." I know. After seeing your movie collection, no, you're right up there, man. You're valid.
Now here's a funny fact. There is a NASCAR driver who just recently retired, who purchased Ricky Bobby's house, the house that they used to shoot Talladega Nights.
Really?
He just paid like millions of dollars for the house.
Oh wow. Okay.
Kevin Harvick, I think it was. Was it Kevin Harvick, John? Yeah.
Kevin Harvick.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah, he just bought Ricky Bobby's house for like $6 million or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and Sacha Baron Cohen in that, playing Jean Girard. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Yeah, I'm all over you like a spider monkey.
Yo, that's a good one though. Mike just jumped in the chat here. Get Hard with Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell. That is a good one.
Where he's training them to go to prison.
Yeah. That was an awesome one. I love Kevin Hart movies though, so I think you mix him with Will Ferrell was great.
Yeah, that was a good one. How you doing, Mike? Good to see you.
Definitely.
Yeah, that was the other one. Will Ferrell. Oh God, there's so many.
What there's the one where they're like basketball players, and then there's also
semi pro.
Yeah, that was good. Woody Harrelson was in that.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yep.
Jackie Moon.
What was the one where they're like ice skaters and he starred with John Heder?
Yeah, Blades of Steel. Or Blades of Glory. I'm sorry, Blades of Glory.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good too.
Old school. We're streaking to the quad. And the old guy, what was his name? Blue? The guy they pledged to the fraternity, the old guy.
Oh, shoot.
I think his name was Blue.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. I haven't seen it, and I think it's been a good maybe 2-3 years.
Good luck on your interview tomorrow, Mike.
Yes, Mike, absolutely. I got faith in you, man.
The cameo in Wedding Crashers, yeah. Where he was, what was his name?
Wait. He did a cameo in that movie?
Yeah, he was like the guy that they learned how to do it from. Like that Vince Vaughn learned it from. Like Chad or something, his name was.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah. And he went to a funeral and he was, wetting his eyes and trying to pick up a girl at the funeral.
Oh, I think I remember that character. I just didn't remember it was played by him. Okay.
Yeah. Ma, the meatloaf. My mom makes a killer meatloaf. You want some? Yeah. Mom, make us some meatloaf. Oh God.
In case Mike, because he just dropped in, I'm not sure if he's aware of what we're doing here, but we're talking about Saturday Night Live cast members and basically the movie tree, if you will, of various projects that they've been involved with and things like that, and giving out some history courtesy of Ron here about Saturday Night Live itself. So if you have any knowledge yourself or any info that you would like to share or any suggestions, feel free, please.
Yep. How about another guy that falls into the cameo part? Mm-hmm. John Lovitz.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh.
And can I say it? I know you're going to say it.
Okay, you go ahead.
You say it.
All right. Well, I wonder if we're thinking the same thing. But I love him in his cameo.
1, 2, 3. Mom and Dad saved the world.
Oh,
as
wow.
God.
Wow, we have two. So is that your favorite cameo?
I probably yes, but a close second would probably be the wedding band singer from The Wedding Singer with Adam Sandler.
That's the one that I find is my favorite. I just love that part. He is so hilarious in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. No, your pick though is fair though. That's an interesting pick. I really could have swore you were going to say the same Wedding Singer with that cameo because it's just so iconic. But hey,
But
that's cool.
He had such a bigger part in Mom and Dad Saves the World, though. So that's why I kind of chose that one because it was less of a cameo and more of a lead. Because I mean, actually, you had Jeffrey Jones and Terry Garr, but other than those two, he was the third. He probably wasn't even the third build. He's probably second build.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
But he played a huge part in that. So how you doing, Gary?
So yeah, no, that makes sense why you and I had different answers because we were leading into cameos, and I was thinking of that bit parts. I wasn't thinking of something.
Well, you know how my brain works. I'm sorry. I probably would have said the exact same thing as the same time you said it.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely a great one though. Yes, and actually, he played a similar character in an episode of 2.5 Men.
Did he
interacting with Charlie Sheen as a guy who was like the king of jingles, and they're going to an award show, and this guy beats him out every year for this award that they give to jingle writers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see that episode of 2.5 Men, it's essentially the same character as the Wedding Singer guy.
Yeah, that's interesting, and I'm glad it was when Charlie Sheen was still around because those are the episodes I prefer.
Yeah, oh for sure.
Like nothing against Ashton Kutcher, but it just wasn't the same.
He was not set up for success. I mean, although I got to say that toward the final episode was hilarious.
Yeah,
when they found out that he was still alive.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, and actually, they're rebooting it. They're actually talking about getting back together, and actually, Charlie Sheen may be involved.
I would be down for that, honestly.
He and Chuck Lorre have mended their fences, so to speak.
Yeah, because I know there was a huge thing between the two of them.
I mean, he was making over $1 million an episode, and he walked away.
Yeah. Well, he was also in a bad place too, like with drugs and things like that. So.
Porn stars and everything else.
Yeah,
Tiger Blood,
winning. I still remember that the interviews and everything. That was it. Like went viral in the early days of YouTube. Like oh god.
Yep, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so. Okay, here's an oldie name that had a couple good ones.
Okay.
How about Joe Piscopo?
Okay.
Wise Guys with Danny DeVito and Joe Piscopo.
Mm.
Really, really good. Shot a lot of it was shot in Atlantic City.
Oh, okay. Some more movie knowledge.
Was shot at the old Resorts Casino, and down in some was shot in Wildwood, and some was shot in Atlantic City.
Damn.
But Joe Piscopo cool. Being a Jersey guy, Yeah,
I was just gonna say, like for you and I, like it is pretty neat between your experiences and my experiences, being an actor and things like that. Knowing certain locations or actually having been present on certain locations where they actually filmed this or that, it's neat. Yeah. It's like cool. You feel like you're sort of a part of it in a weird, like misconstrued way. I don't know, but it's cool.
I mean,
it's cool.
There were a couple other films that were filmed in this immediate area. I mean, you had Clean and Sober with Michael Keaton.
Oh, that is such a good movie.
In Gloucester City and up on Mount Ephraim Boulevard at the Admiral Motel when it was still there.
Wow. I love Clean and Sober. It is such a deep movie and so real. And Michael Keaton was phenomenal in that.
Yep. Eddie and the Cruisers, the original Eddie and the Cruisers. Shot at a motel that used to be on the Black Horse Pike there just outside of Clementon. That used to be right there, and that's no longer there. It was torn down, but they shot some scenes there in Blackwood or Clementon, right in that area.
Wow.
So Yeah, just a couple that come to mind.
Mhm.
Stealing Home with Mark Harmon also,
Okay.
and Jodie Foster.
Hmm.
That they actually shot some in this area as well in Gloucester and Camden County. So I just remembered that one. Okay. How about um, Andy Samberg?
Oh, yeah. He's more of the recents though.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, he's done a couple things that were kind of good. I mean, I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Hmm.
You know, it's sad to see the passing of Andre Bronner,
Hmm.
um, but that was a great show. But he did a couple of movies, a couple features. I mean, he was in That's My Boy with Adam Sandler,
Hmm.
where he plays his son Han Solo, which
Yeah.
was what his dad named him. Uh, you had the one where he was a race car driver. Oh, or what was that? Oh God, John, help me out with that one. What was the Andy Samberg? Oh my God, why am I not remembering this?
I think John might be right. I'm pretty
No,
sure
it wasn't. He wasn't NASCAR. I don't think he
it was
was.
it was something.
He was definitely like either a stunt. Oh, hot rod. It was
Okay,
called.
that's what it was. It was on top of my head. I couldn't remember, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was good. That was good.
So yeah, I mean, he's done a lot of like voice animation voices too. Yeah, there you go. Somebody got it. And he's done a lot of animation voicing too. So
Hmm. And are we just talking about are we still on the subject of SNL cast members that have just done a couple of movies, or are we talking or
yeah, yeah. What you got?
one that I don't know why we haven't brought him up yet, but he's obviously a comedy legend, but Steve Martin.
True. Although he was never officially in the cast, he
He what he,
still has
he
hosted
hosted.
more than anyone.
Yes.
Actually,
I feel
between
like it's an
him and
honorable mention.
Alec Baldwin.
Hmm.
But yeah, Steve Martin. I mean, that he's had a great uh, movie career, starting with The Jerk.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you and I love that movie. It's so
Oh, it's hilarious. Yeah. Oh my God. Just so many funny lines in that.
uh-huh.
Uh, you mean I'm going to stay this color?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's part of a black family and all. Yeah. Oh, planes,
Yep.
trains, and automobiles.
Planes, Trains, and
Yeah.
Automobiles with the great John Candy.
Yes, the late
Yep.
great John Candy.
Roxanne.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see. I mean, he's made so many good ones. I mean,
He
it's
has.
hard
Yeah,
to.
I would like to
The
mention.
and I know John hates them, but the Little Shop of Horrors, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. The Pink Panthers. Pink
Yes.
Panthers.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Three Amigos. I love
Three
that movie.
Amigos, yeah, that's an
That was
excellent one.
Chevy Chase is in that.
And Martin Short
Yeah. Yeah. That was
and
great.
John Lovitz is in there too, and Phil Hartman.
Yep. I also would like to mention Parenthood.
Okay, yeah, that's a real
That's
good one. Father
really
of the
good.
Bride.
Part 1 and 2. Yep. Yep. With Diane
Yeah,
Keaton. Yep.
yep. Uh,
Any others?
You know, I
People?
got Little Shop of Horrors running through my head now. I'm sitting here singing, I'm a dentist. Now spit.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's such a good freaking song. So catchy, so catchy.
Yeah, it was.
I take a pussycat and bash its head.
Cheaper by the dozen. Yeah, there's another one. Yeah, they were good.
Yeah. That was
Yep.
technically a remake though.
Yeah, technically it was.
I believe there was an
Uh,
original Cheaper by
Dennis
the Dozen.
Quaid, I think, was in the original. Maybe.
Hmm.
I'm almost positive.
I think you might be getting confused with because you said Dennis Quaid. I think you're thinking of the movie with what's the actress's name? She was a kid actor. And she plays twins. Oh, what was that called?
Well, Parent Trap.
Yeah, I think it was Parent
Yeah,
Trap.
she did. He did the Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan. Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought there was a Cheaper by the Dozen that had another actor in it. I could be wrong. I don't know why that just popped in my head. Go ahead and give me a second. I want to look this up real quick.
Okay. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Well, it was actually called Yours, Mine, and Ours.
Okay.
Which is the one I was thinking of. That had Rene Russo in it. And Dennis Quaid. And it was very similar to Cheaper by the Dozen. So that's why I confused the two. Had the same similar kind of story. It actually was Cheaper by the Dozen. It was based on that story.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I knew there was a connection there.
I was gonna say, so you're basically correct in that sense.
Yeah, well, the first one was made in the 1950s.
Yes, that's the one I was thinking of.
Right, and then there were two before there was a Cheaper by the Dozen 1 and 2, and then there was the 2022 version.
Mm-hmm.
But Yours, Mine, and Ours was actually 1968. The original was in 1968, and then the Dennis Quaid one was in 2005.
Yeah.
So, but they're all based on the same books.
Mm-hmm.
So, My Blue Heaven. Oh, how could I forget that one? That's one of my absolute favorites. It's okay. I didn't marry her under my real name. Oh my God, there's so many great scenes in that. Rick Moranis was the perfect foil for Steve Martin in that.
Yeah, and Rick Moranis was also in Parenthood, co-starring with Steve Martin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then another connection too. Rick Moranis, because we were talking about Mel Brooks, was in Spaceballs.
Yes.
So there's another connection there, you know. I love Spaceballs.
Yep. Oh, Spaceballs. Yeah. You can't beat that. What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken?
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Now let's see how you handle it.
My Blue Heaven. You shouldn't be in the frozen food section. You're going to melt all this stuff. Carol Kane. Yeah, that was a good movie. Mm-hmm. Joan Cusack.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So we mentioned Martin Short.
Yes.
Really, Three Amigos was mentioned, and he really hasn't done a ton theatrical. I mean, he was also in Father of the Bride.
Yeah, I was just going to say
Wedding
that too.
Planner. He was hilarious in that.
He was great.
Yeah. So him and Steve are kind of connected at the hip.
Yep.
They do that series currently on, I think, Netflix or something. Only Murderers in the House. or something like that.
That is new. Yeah.
Very highly acclaimed, and it's actually Selena Gomez is in it as well.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out myself, but it does seem appealing.
Inner Space with Dennis Quaid. Yeah, Inner Space was good. I like that. Wow. I'm hearing all these movies tonight, and some of these reminding some of these things, and I know I've got like a week's worth of movies to watch now, because I know tomorrow I'll probably be watching My Blue Heaven.
Yes.
That's great. So now the one other one that we were talking about pre-show was the one, and this actually had a couple of SNL short-term SNL cast members.
Okay.
Michael McKean and Christopher Guest and Harry Shearer. And it was a great, great movie called This Is Spinal Tap.
Yes.
Which was directed by Rob Reiner of All in the Family fame, and also did Princess Bride. And was about a fictional rock band. And they actually ended up cutting albums and actually toured as the characters.
Yeah, it was like a mockumentary.
Yeah, very much like what happened with the Blues Brothers. I mean, the Blues Brothers started out as a skit on a Saturday Night Live, and next thing you know, they're doing a sold-out concert at the Hollywood Bowl. But Paul Schaefer put together that band, and that band was like a super band that had never, I don't think anybody's ever put together a band of that quality ever again. As far as for an entertainment project.
And didn't they? I might be thinking of a whole different crew here, but didn't they go on to do other like mockumentary type movies? Like I'm thinking, like for instance,
Gaston. Yeah, they made a bunch of stuff with like Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy from SCTV. They did a lot of stuff like Best in Show, and there were a number of movies that had them all together in those kind of, mockumentary kind of style.
Yeah, I really enjoy that style. I think it's just great. It's a kind of humor that later would evolve into, dare I say, The Office.
To an extent, yeah. I mean, The Office was actually
it was a
heavily
British
inspired
show.
by the British version, but yeah, definitely. I mean, you just made me think of, Eugene Levy, who was involved in all those, that also, did like Cheaper by the Dozen and did a bunch of those as well. Currently, he's in that series, Schitt's Creek. But he did the American Pie movies. He was in, Cheaper by the Dozen. And he did a ton of the American Pies.
Have you ever, because there's people that talk about it like all the time, but have you ever seen Schitt's Creek?
No.
Okay, I didn't know if it was
say that I actually have. I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah, same.
But I've never actually sat down and watched it. But that cast seems like very, very much right in my wheelhouse. So I really should check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because if you go through now as I went through this list and I looked at, people that have been on the show for only one season, a bunch of names jumped out at me that I thought we might touch on. But, and I would say that, Damon Wayans, we talked about earlier, who did a season, Anthony Michael Hall, who was on for a season, Billy Crystal, Robert Downey Jr., Julie Louis-Dreyfus, a bunch of people who kind of had a cup of coffee on SNL, who went on to bigger and better things. So
yes,
and
before we do run out of time here, I would just like to make some mentions of that list I was telling you about earlier.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, because I know a lot of them. Some of them we talked about, and then others we didn't even get to yet.
Okay.
But let me pop that up right now. Okay, so speaking of like SNL, the '90s. Okay, I know you must have seen this because it was a skit throughout, and definitely early '90s. And then they made a movie. Stuart Saves His Family.
Oh yeah. Okay. With Al Franken.
Yeah, Stuart Smalley. Oh my God, I'm
Yep.
good enough. I'm smart enough, and doggone it,
And
people like me.
people like me.
Did you ever see the one with Michael Jordan?
I did. Yes.
Oh, and he broke.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he did.
It was so
Yeah,
good.
that was a great character.
Very much so. Very much so. Didn't Al Franken? He got into like politics, right? He's a political
Yeah,
commentator
he was a
now.
senator. He was a U.S. senator.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
mean, good for him. You know.
he resigned his seat during a scandal that ended up being proved to be false accusations.
Okay. Yeah.
But
See,
he resigned for the good of the party.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes you got to make those tough decisions. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. There's Stuart Saves His Family. Do you remember? Speaking of Will Ferrell, Superstar.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
I like
With
that one too.
Molly Shannon.
Yep, yep.
Superstar.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was great. It was great. She was also a great performer. Like her comedy was.
Oh yeah. I mean, she was
yeah.
great on SNL. I mean,
Definitely.
she's done some bit parts. You know, she was the wife in Talladega Nights.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The wife that was drunk, the owner's wife, the owner of the race team. And she was all drunked up in the press box. And yeah.
So this one is a more recent one, but anyone who knows of the series MacGyver, I know you do. They did MacGruber.
The Gruber, yes. Absolutely.
That one was good. That was like because that wasn't that also was a sketch, right? And then they turned
It was,
into,
yes.
Okay, that's what
sketch,
I thought.
yes.
Yeah, that was awesome. Did we bring up? I think you did, but I can't recall now because we've been talking about so many different actors and movies and things like that. But did you bring up Funny Farm?
I did not.
Because that was good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad that we're in the same boat there.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Because I was like, oh no, if he didn't bring it up, does that mean he doesn't like it? But no, that was good.
Yep.
Man, oh, yes, of course. When it comes to Adam Sandler, we already brought up Wedding Singer, but he, obviously there's Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Waterboy. Yeah, all that stuff. I love Adam Sandler movies. And
yeah,
speaking of actors, because we brought it up recently, actors who can actually play a serious role was Uncut Gems, Adam Sandler.
Yes.
Did you see that?
I did.
That was so good.
That was good. It really was.
Yeah, I'd never seen him in a role quite like that before, but there are also comedies that he's been involved in where he actually did display true, genuine heart and emotion. And one of those,
Daddy.
Yeah, Big Daddy was great. But I would, which literally I saw, I just added that on the list. But another one, and this speaks volumes when it comes to chemistry. But 50 First Dates.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah.
With Drew Barrymore, yeah.
Those two together are just like it's amazing. Peanut butter and jelly, like it works.
And Rob Schneider was great in that one too.
Oh, he was, yeah.
Hey, my stitches came out, bro.
It's funny though because I'm like looking, like most of. Oh, yes, of course, Chris Farley, Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yeah. Okay.
That was awesome.
That's a good one.
But yeah, you got this whole list that I wrote down.
Yeah.
And we talked about most of them.
Yep. Well, the other character-driven one that I just thought of was not a very big success, but it was a character nonetheless. It's Pat.
Oh, isn't that the one
with
character?
Julia Sweeney as that character Pat? where you didn't know if it was a guy or a girl.
Yeah, and it was like very awkward
And
situation.
they made a full length feature on that one.
It's funny because I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it was cringy.
Oh,
But
was it?
yeah, but it had its moments. Yeah, uh, people got real uncomfortable about that sketch, so that was part of the problem.
I mean, I thought it was funny,
But they went ahead and made it anyway. Just like, they didn't know Wayne's World was going to hit the way it hit, and it was huge. Yeah,
hits and misses,
yeah.
One great sketch that in the 90s Saturday Night Live did that always I can watch it to this day, and I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it as well, or have enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure her name is Debbie Downer.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Debbie Downer. Yeah. Rachel Dratch.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that was so good.
And the one where they're in Disney World and they broke everybody up at the table.
Yes, everyone in the table, everybody. They could not keep a straight face. Even she
It's
couldn't.
official. I can never have children.
Yeah. And she would try to keep the the frown and everything.
Right, but as soon as that trumpet went wah wah wah,
yeah.
that was it. Everybody lost it.
It was so good. Speaking of, and wasn't with that skit, that was Lindsay Lohan in that as well.
It was, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Horatio Sands and Jimmy Fallon, which those two guys should never be together in a sketch. That somebody's breaking. So, yeah. So we're coming up against it here. So
yeah,
I guess we better wrap this one up for the night. But
absolutely. But man,
I'll tell you, it was a fun topic. I was afraid that it was going to have to last two, but it looks like we pretty much wrapped it up. We'll come up with a different topic during the week and see what we come up with. But we want to thank everybody for coming in today and spending time with us on the chat. Mm-hmm. You all have some great knowledge, and you definitely add to the experience here, especially for us, because for as much as we remember stuff, you guys are remembering a bunch of stuff that we might have left out, and that's what makes it fun.
Yeah,
I mean, it really does. You have any closing words there, Mr. Clayton?
Well, it goes in hand with what you were saying with the audience and them having their own vast knowledge of films and cinema in general. But going back to that one idea, I definitely want to put that on our list, is have a whole full interactive stream. I think would be so beneficial to getting people to not only interact with us, but everybody being a part of this family would be pretty cool. Everyone would feel like they're contributing, and it would just be a lot of fun. So I definitely want to put that on the list as far as ideas.
Do you want to do that next week? I mean, we can decide it right now.
Or
we could wait 2 weeks to give us a little time to prep.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Let's make it in 2 weeks. We'll come up with something different for next week. But then 2 weeks from tonight, we're going to do the Kevin Bacon night.
Okay.
That's what we'll call it. We'll call it Kevin Bacon night.
And I know that show will obviously be a success, not only for, our interactions with the audience, but you and I already do that.
Yeah. It kind of happens automatically after a while.
Yeah, that's easy peasy.
You're not lying there.
No. But as my last words, as always, I'm so thankful to be a part of this. So thankful of all your support, and this has been great. I had a lot of fun, and I surprised myself. In regards to the knowledge of SNL. Like Ron, that's his forte. But I, if I may say, I kept
you held your own very, very well. Absolutely. I mean, when you know it, you know it.
Yeah.
You just don't know you know it until somebody asks you.
Yep.
There you go. So, with that being said, looking at the rest of the week here on the Basement Show, we got tomorrow night we got Sports Roundup with me and John. Hey Curtis, how you doing, man? Good to see you. So we got sports tomorrow night with me and Johnny. Then Wednesday night, we have the ladies, Shannon and Mama D, who were both in chat tonight, and Britt, their new co-host, will be sharing a bunch of stuff. It's by the ladies, but not necessarily just for the ladies. So feel free to tune in and say hi. You may be the butt of a female attack at times. At least I have on occasion, but more likely it's they're usually too busy attacking Johnny to pay any attention to me. So I can just keep a low profile. But everyone is welcome. But it is ladies' night. They do talk about different topics, including just basic gossip. They talk about shopping tips. They talk about sales. They talk about social issues and pretty much a lot of topics that the ladies like to discuss. So that's our Wednesday night ladies night. Or yeah, I said Wednesday night. The Wednesday night is everybody's off. Johnny lets us all be off on Wednesday night. Thursday night is ladies night. I am so sorry. I am just losing my brain. So I knew that. I just forgot it for a second. So yeah, Thursday night is ladies night. And then you turn to Friday, and Friday, all bets are off. It's the Rev Grimm turning his madness loose on the Basement Show airwaves every Friday night. It is a mature audience kind of show. So not really recommended for the young or the squeamish, but feel free to tune in and see what's going on. There's all kinds of different features, word of the week, letter of the week, a bunch of crazy shit off the internet. You just never know. It could be anything. And then in the 10 o'clock hour, it kind of also goes a little bit, maybe a little bit darker and a little bit crazier as the night goes on. So, you can check that out. If you want to watch that one on Twitch, you can save yourself the precaution of watching your words because they're a little more lenient as far as Facebook goes. They're constantly monitoring the shows, and they will issue out warnings if you mention topics that they deem to be inappropriate. So just kind of heads up on that. But all the shows are on Facebook primarily. You got Facebook, you got YouTube, you got Twitch. We have Discord channel, which is available for you to interact with us here at the Basement Show. There's a channel for each on our server. You can reach all the hosts. You can make general suggestions, or you can tune into a particular host, and we can interact with you guys on a one-on-one outside of the chat. So feel free to check out our Discord page as well. There's lots of exciting stuff coming down the road. I mean, we're continuing to grow the channel. We're continuing to have fun, and we're here because of you guys. You guys have made us, have given us the opportunity to grow this forum, to build something here with some great people who I deem as family. And I'm sure many of them feel that way as well. On our Saturday nights, we have Drago and Tink's Neverland, which is our Saturday night gaming show. Also, make sure you check out on Saturdays because Heartless and Gingy as your hosts there on Saturday night, and they'll be gaming. I think I read this week they were doing COD, but don't hold me to that. But I think I saw that in the chat that's what they were looking at this week.
Oh wait, Call of Duty, huh?
Yeah. So make sure you check them out on Saturdays as well. Continue to like, follow, and share on all of our formats. We appreciate the support because honestly, we do it because of you. I mean, you're here with us week after week, show after show, and we, donate our time in order to try and entertain you the best we can, and we appreciate every time you guys come in. So, the best I can say is keep on spending time with us. We'll try and keep on responding to your suggestions and your interactions to make this the best show it can be, both tonight on Real Talk and on the whole shows on the rest of the week, on Tuesday night for Sports Roundup, Thursday nights for Ladies Nights, Friday for the Rev, and Saturday for Drago and Tinks Neverland. So all start at 9 p.m. Tune in, and we will be signing off for now. I want to thank John for his help tonight with the production. Dave, I want to thank you. I am honored to share the screen with you.
As am I. As am I.
You're very very knowledgeable, and I'm very, very happy to have someone of your caliber helping us to grow this particular show. So
100%. I'm glad it works out. Thank you.
Okay. So with that being said, we're going to sign off, and you have a great night, and we will catch you next week here on Real Talk.